When heroes die, they do not disappear. Their spirits live on somewhere beyond, where time is frozen and feelings are sharper than a blade. Once a year, this border is thinner than a flower petal, and then something more than just a holiday begins, the spirit blossom. Ionia is a primordially spiritual place. Spirits are in the rocks, trees, everywhere. And just like all countries, Ionia has its own traditions. One of them is the Spirit Blossom Festival. The festival marks the blooming of the actual spirit blossom flower and is a time for Ionians to communicate with their deceased loved ones, celebrate their peaceful passing to the afterlife, or mourn their inability to rest. Ionians have different traditions and rituals with flowers. The most common one is to place one on the tombstone of a deceased loved one. If it blooms, it means that they are at peace and their spirit appears, allowing you to talk to them for a while. But if the flower withers and nothing appears, it is a sign that the spirit has been corrupted or cannot rest in peace. The festival itself is based on the ancient legends of Ionia, the legends of the spirit realm. This realm is a parallel pocket of existence to the physical realm, both of which make up the realm of existence in Runeterra. It is the home and place of origin of spirits. While most spirits can easily cross over to the physical realm, mortals can only visit the spirit realm when they are dead or possess powerful spiritual abilities. It is known to be a place where time and space function differently than in the physical realm. The Ionians believe that the spirit realm has many separate areas, mirrors of the Runeterra world. The Tree of Life, the Shrine of the Spirit of Salvation, the Shrine of the Spirit of Temptation, where all the statues were once people, the Shrine of the Spirit of Obsession, the Shard Forest of the Fawn of Flowers, which is now filled with nightmares, the Akana and Kamei Forest, the mountains, the Graveyard of Swords, and the beach where the spirits first appear after dying. This place is inhabited by spirits which can be divided into two types. The Kamei are calm, peaceful spirits. They have accepted their fate and live in eternal peace, and Akana are passionate, restless souls who could not let go of their past. These two sides of the spiritual world are not necessarily in conflict. Instead, they coexist in a world in which they are inextricably linked. It is a place between peace and passion, and all spirits exist somewhere on the spectrum. None of them are truly good and never truly evil. The skins of the champions in the Spirit Blossom theme reflect this spiritual duality. Each and every skin is like a theatrical mask that can be found at a festival. These are folklore, fairy tales that are passed down by word of mouth. And although the festival itself is part of the canon, the skins of the champions are just legends. For example, Akana is represented by Lilia, Cassiopeia, Thresh, Riven, and Vayne, and Kamei are represented by the Lamb of Kindred, Teemo, Ari, Yoni, and Yasuo. In their own turn, the images of the Spirit Blossom Ari and Spirit Blossom Thresh in the spirit realm are the embodiments of the Spirit of Salvation and Spirit of Obsession, and are also interpreted as the most revered spiritual beings by the Ionians, the Gatekeeper and the Collector. The white nine-tailed fox, the Gatekeeper, guides souls to peace but does not hold them by force. Those who stray from the path risk falling into the clutches of the Collector, a demon that traps lost souls in an endless circle of their own memories. Warriors who are unable to let go of the past are especially vulnerable to him. This concept can be seen in the cinematic The Path, an Ionia myth. When the folkloric version of Yoni arrives in the spirit realm, he is guided by a fox spirit on the path to peace and tranquility. But he is faced with a choice: follow the fox or listen to the spirit of obsession and reflect on the decisions he has made in life. Now that we have figured out what the Blossom Festival really is and how the spirit realm itself works, it is time to dive into the most interesting part: the folklore stories of the characters themselves. We will look at both the stories and skins that were released earlier and the stories of the skins from the current update, Spirit Blossom Beyond. Lore of Akana spirits. It is said that in her former life, Cassiopeia was a beautiful princess, the daughter of an influential elder. He ruled the village with an iron fist, allowing himself neither weakness nor pity. After his death, Cassiopeia inherited not only land and wealth but also enemies. She dealt with some of them quickly, but one threat proved to be more insidious than the others: her own sister. Disinherited and rejected by her father, her sister rebelled. She took away everything, and Cassiopeia was forced to flee. Without power, without home, without support, but not without pride. Now she is the Spirit of Temptation. Her image lives on in legends and is reflected in the form of one who ignites desire in the hearts of mortals. desires for which they are ready to sacrifice everything. A shrine was built in her honor, and the Ionians still tell her story as a warning and as a temptation. Lilia was once a shy doe spirit who carefully guarded a sacred grove in Ionia. But one day the forest was set ablaze. Someone's greedy, cruel hand swept through her home in a raging inferno, and everything that was precious disappeared. Unable to cope with the pain of loss, Lilia fell into a deep sleep, dissolving into the world of spirits. There, in the hazy reflection of a dead grove, an enchanted forest grew, a forest where every branch, every leaf, and every animal is a shadow from her past. Dreams of the night of the fire repeat themselves over and over, trapping Lilia in a loop of grief. Her path is an eternal run in a circle of memories. She has become the embodiment of the spirit of loss, and everyone who wanders into her forest feels the burden of loss that never lets go. Raven does not remember how she ended up in the spirit realm. Her memory is a torn scroll with only one scene left, a great battlefield. The sword in her hands, the enemies before her, and the enemy commander. Now he raises his weapon to strike. Then there is nothing. She wakes up in a world where there is neither living nor dead. The sword is broken, and the fragments are scattered throughout the spirit realm. Obsessed with regaining what she has lost, Raven wanders in an eternal search, guided by the shadow of her own despair. Every time she finds a piece of the blade, it shatters in her hands, but she does not give up. She believes that by reforging the sword, she can remember who she was and perhaps find her way home. Yet the farther she travels, the stronger the darkness that whispers in her ear is. Perhaps she is destined to remain here forever, becoming the spirit of despair. Vane was once mortal. Her home village, a place where hunters had battled monsters for centuries, was destroyed in a fire brought by an ancient demon. He did not kill quickly, he enjoyed pain. Vane could neither save nor avenge. She could only watch helplessly as her loved ones died while the beast devoured everything she held dear. The demon left, but she stayed. His trail led her to the spirit realm. Now Vane is the spirit of hate, a huntress with no end in sight, forever pursuing the creature she's never meant to catch. Only hate keeps her spirit alive in this world. Thresh is not just a demon. He is temptation, a thirst for control, a mockery of those who still hope for salvation. He gathers lost souls, luring them with promises of liberation, and chains them to their own memories. His temple is where he plays God, calling the trapped spirits his children. Although he is an Arcana at the core, he dreams of the beauty and sublimity of the Kame. In this eternal theater of pain, he feels like a king. When Darius's mortal form fell, the battle was not over. His soul rose with an axe in hand, knowing neither peace nor rest. Darius became the spirit of war, the embodiment of rage and destruction. He wanders between worlds, seeking no meaning, only craving a clash where steel meets flesh and blood soaks earth. The ready hand is the loyal guardian of a queen, but when duty to the throne gave way to personal love, everything fell apart. The queen died in her arms, and now, as an Arcana, Aurelia wanders the eternal night, driven by regrets she can never atone for. Her dance is no longer for protection. It is only an echo of what she could not save. Legends tell of Master Yi, a swordsman who took only one student in his lifetime. After an unceremonious betrayal, Yi died, not from the blade but from a broken heart. Now the spirit of legacy wanders the spirit world in search of a disciple. He is lost, and anyone who joins him is doomed to face the same fate. In a secluded corner of the Arcana forest, Soraka mourns those she has lost. Every life she cut short she had wished to save, yet among those who hail her as a savior, some view her power as merciless cruelty. For the spirit of pity, death is never a blessing. For those who seek glory in the battlefield, for those who petition the spirits for a bountiful harvest, Tristana greets all with a toothy smile. The spirit of chance has no favorites, obligations, or motives. She simply delights in chaos, in the fear in people's eyes when they roll the dice. As the guardian of a peaceful temple, the Arch of Varus welcomed the wandering artist, allowing him refuge among his beloved monks. But when the artist painted him, the magical portrait, the cursed one, leapt from the canvas and devastated the temple. Varus's grief turned to rage. Now he hunts the evil artist, hoping to bring peace to those he could not save. The grove Yorick called home burned to the ground before his eyes. Instead of tears, he felt rage. Instead of hermitage, a path of destruction. Around him now bloom not flowers but curses. He's followed by soldiers. not gardeners, but shadows of the night. He bears not life, but eternal decay, the spirit of ruin, whose pain has become his weapon. Lore of the Kame spirits. Deep in the forests of Ionia stands an ancient sanctuary where legend says the face of a beautiful woman appears to the dying. She shows souls the way to eternal peace. Sometimes 9 fluffy tails flicker behind her. This is Ari, the spirit of salvation. Capricious and mysterious, she treats mortal fates as a game of chase, offering souls a chance at peace, but never intervening if they stray. Once crowds flocked to her shrine. The mortal world forged legends of the fox god. Yet in the spirit realm, time flows differently. People live and die where spirits persist. Should a living mortal enter the sanctuary of the 9-tailed woman, years may pass for them in mere days. Call upon the spirit of salvation and the fox will show you the way home. Timo is a child of the forest, a cheerful spirit, prankster, and embodiment of nature's carefree energy. In Ionia, he is called the face of Mother Nature herself, though he is remembered more often with a smile for his antics. He toys with spirits and mortals not from malice but simply because that is his nature. Once, Timo even tricked the great Thresh, stealing his lantern. Only once did Timo refrain from pranking his best friend. In gratitude, the spirit of salvation Ari fulfilled his dream, making him golden and shining. But Timo is not easy to escape. He vowed to prank his friends at every opportunity, every day, until they die and join him in the spirit realm. By nature, kindred belongs to both Akana and Kame. In Ionia legends, kindred is depicted as a girl and a beast who play until duty calls anew. The wolf and the lamb move constantly between the spirit realm and the mortal world. When someone dies, the lamb arrives to guide the soul to the beyond. If the soul resists, the wolf gives chase. In the mortal realm, they remain unseen, almost, until the final moment. Together they are kindred, the spirit of death. The wolf is Akana, the lamb is Kame, dual embodiments of death as the human mind can accept it. They do not know their origin, but say they are forever mourning someone long lost. Once upon a time, in the distant days of a bloody war, 2 brothers lived in the land of Ionia. The younger Yasuo was born with a sword in hand, skillful, daring, with a soul that knew no bounds. The brothers came from a renowned clan famous for its legendary swordsman. Ioni was the firstborn, so high hopes were placed upon him. He was destined to follow a path outlined by their ancestors long before he was born. Ioni believed that duty was above all else. He rejected everything but discipline and honor, dreaming his brother would share that path. To neglect talent is to betray the very essence of yourself, he said. But Yasuo took these words not as concern but as condemnation. The more Ioni pulled him near, the farther the younger strayed. Time passed. The brothers grew into leaders of their homeland. Yasuo, a brilliant commander, free as the wind. Ioni, an unwavering defender of tradition, guided by a strict code. Ioni defended Ionia from those who encroached on its rituals. Yasuo was once accused of treason and had to fight to save his life. Fate brought the brothers together in a deadly duel and neither survived. Now Yasuo is the spirit of heroism. He inspires the living to be brave, teaching them to fight not for glory but for truth, to go against the wind when the heart commands. He appears calm, yet his eyes still burn with fire. Ioni became the spirit of reflection. In the spirit realm, he was attacked by an Azakana, a parasite minor demon that feeds on fear and guilt. Ioni allowed remorse and rage to overwhelm him, giving the Azakana its opening. Though he survived the battle, his path was forever changed. He returned to the mortal world with a new face, a new sword, and a new purpose, to hunt and slay Azakana. Now Ioni is torn between 2 worlds. In life, he deemed himself a hero. In death, he discovered he was only human. He bears a growing burden of regret, eased only by the one he once lost. Through the winds of time and the hush of the afterlife, the brothers search for each other. And somewhere, among rustling leaves, Yasuo's voice whispers, "Brother, may the wind carry my plea to you. I seek your understanding, for I may never dare seek your forgiveness." Ionians whisper of the twin spirits of the night, Kame Aphelios and Akana Elune. They say the darkening sky comes from the brothers' weapons, tearing the firmament to paint an obsidian canvas of stars, while the sisters' intentions remain mysterious. Legends tell of a wandering queen whose curiosity led her to trade places with the Grove Mother. The price was steep, and she returned to find her faithful Ready Hand and the Grove Mother locked in battle. Caught between them, she died in the Ready Hand's arms, her last words an apology. Now she roams the wilds, guiding the lost. The Keeper of the Garden drifts among the blossoms, collecting wayward memories left by travelers who wish to forget their pain. Though some memories are not yet ready to settle, they remain safe in the Keeper's care. Come, leave your flesh behind, bring only despair and pain. Evelyn, the spirit of love, awaits. She requires neither name nor past, only your suffering in your deepest dreams. Her hunger is bottomless, her touch both comfort and curse. In her embrace all are equal, thief and empress, vagabond and poet. She accepts everyone and leaves only an echo of pleasure. When the wandering queen died, she was buried beneath the tree planted on the day of her birth, a tree that had watched over her all her life. She woke in the afterlife clutching one of its branches, which she shaped into a sacred bow. When that branch blossomed, the guardian tree revealed its spirit, a friend who had stood beside her all along. A kind young woman freed a trapped creature, a spirit in disguise, and was offered a treasure. Among dazzling riches, she chose a simple gray stone, saying it could aid many. It was no stone, but a shell holding 2 luminous pearls. In her hands, they became a staff of light, a gift Lady of Luminosity now wields to guide others through darkness. There was once a woman whose broken heart longed to forget sorrow. A powerful spirit moved by her grief granted the wish. Her tears turned to flowers, her body took root, and the garden of forgetting was born. Now weary hearts wander its path, hoping the blossoms will ease their pain. Children hear tales of the ever-reclusive spirit of freedom. One tells of a tree whose roots bound a wandering spark. The flame struggled until Syndra shattered its shackles. As she vows to do for all, so none are lost forever. Some guide the dead, others tempt them away. A third stands uncommitted, his spirit in conflict. Both of Kanmei and Akana belonging to both. Seth lived in harmony until, abandoned by his father, he sought retribution. Now he hears only a whisper of salvation, spending his days challenging fallen warriors to test their worth. And here, amid petals and shadows, in the rustle of leaves and the ring of spirit-forged steel, live tales never fully told. They linger on the wind in forgotten sorrow and in the unquenchable hunger for freedom. The world of Spirit Blossom is not merely a celebration of life and death. It is a mirror where anyone may find themselves or lose themselves forever. What are the spirits that speak to you guys? Do share it in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe if you wish to peer behind the next veil. Thank you for visiting my tavern. See you soon over a mug of the finest ale in all of Runeterra.